All right, what is up, Facebook Live? So today we're talking about differentiation because the public typically thinks, in general, that all real estate agents are pretty much the same. And when a home doesn't sell, fails to sell on the multiple listing service, and the seller has a bad experience, they typically say that, you know what, all agents are the same. If it didn't sell with this agent, it won't sell with another agent. And all agents do is they put it on the multiple listing service and then they disappear. And that is a belief that I have found to be true by many people who have not had a good or necessarily a bad real estate experience. They're just somewhere in the middle. Maybe they haven't sold a home or bought a home within the last 10 years. They don't talk to a lot of real estate agents, or they know just a lot of real estate agents and they think, you know what, they're all the same. Here's a perfect example. The type of people that just say, we need a real estate agent, I don't know, call one of the biggest brokers in town. And they call one of the biggest brokers. The broker handpicks the agent they're going to send out there. They think that anybody who shows up at their door is pretty much the same. Let's drill down on this even further. Half the time, a lot of the sellers don't even know who their fucking agent is. They can't even recall their name. They said, somebody from XYZ brokerage, somebody from Keller Williams, somebody from Chase. It's somebody from this brokerage is coming out to list my property tomorrow. And they don't give a shit. Realtors, this is your fucking problem to solve. And here's how you can differentiate yourself from any of the other real estate agents who may be going out on an appointment that you have to compete against. You have to be able to articulate your value. And so many people fail at this. We made a list the other day in our office of everything a real estate agent does, and we came up with a list of about 42 items. And out of those 42 items, so many of them are subdividable into 2 to 3 other items that we actually do. Guys, anything you do not articulate as value to a person, they are not going to know about, and they are not going to guess that you're able to do some of these things. The things that you take for granted, the things that you just think, this is very normal, they don't know about. And what I've found is that when I lose on a listing appointment, it is typically like 1 or 2 very small things that somebody else articulated that seller picked up on as important and said, you know what, Dan doesn't do this. For example, this was a couple years ago. I lost a listing appointment because the other agent uses and utilizes QR codes in their marketing. They thought that was fucking amazing. And I'm thinking, QR codes? I'm like, who the fuck uses QR codes? I haven't even seen a QR code anywhere in the last 5 years. And this is how I lost a listing appointment. But you know what? There was probably 100 other things that I do that I failed to articulate. So I deserve to lose that listing appointment. And cheers to the agent who got it off of QR codes. Hey, look, you never quite know what is important to a seller. It is important to a seller. And you never know what it's going to be. So you have to be able to articulate everything that you do in a way that isn't boring, monotonous, and you're not chewing somebody's ear off at a listing appointment at the table. And look, guys, once you figure out everything that you can do, get it all written down, get it articulated, put some paperwork together, make it look pretty with some images, and be able to present what you do to the sellers. Because most people literally don't know what real estate agents do on a day-to-day basis. And they may know what's going to happen with their house, but do they know what you do the rest of the day? Probably not. And if they did know, well, if you're at the beach or you're at Lake Tahoe during the summer, maybe you shouldn't talk about what you do the rest of the day. But if you're one of the agents who's in the office taking phone calls, lead generating, putting people in a database, marketing property, coming up with new copy, learning, you have an education budget, you know that in the last 3 years you've spent over $100,000 traveling to seminars or taking classes, or you have a list of all the extracurricular education that you're taking so that you can be the cutting edge agent on the market. Look, guys, it is not the agent who sells the most homes that wins at these listing appointments. I hate to tell you this. It's really not. And if you use that as an excuse, oh, well, that agent sells, 100 homes a year and I only sell 8. Well, what were you the specialist in? Okay, I mean, what do you specialize in? Why would they choose you? How do you differentiate yourself from somebody who's selling hundreds of homes a year, but you're the agent who's maybe only selling 24 homes a year? Is there any area that you do something different or that you're doing something better than anybody else in the area? Or do you just sell a home here, sell a home there? Here's my listing presentation. We're going to market your property on social media and the MLS, and we're going to do open houses. Motherfucker, that's what everybody says. That's what everybody says. What are you going to do different? How are you going to present a value that is greater than what the next agent is about to present? And how are you going to present a value bigger? Let me say that again. How are you going to present a value that is bigger than the 6% commission that you're asking for, that is different than any other agent, where it's a clear choice on that listing presentation that they have to use you? All right, that's all we got for tonight. If you have any questions, you can ask. I'll probably answer some of them up till about 9 o'clock tonight. www.danielpuz.work, just my name, danielpuz.work, as in get your ass to work. If you guys have any questions that I can't quickly answer within the Facebook comments section, or you guys have a topic of conversation that you need to ask me about, free 30-minute phone calls for any buyer questions, seller questions, real estate agent coaching questions. If you guys have them, go ahead and hit me up, danielpuz.work, and you can schedule a time for 30 minutes, usually between 8 and 8, Monday through Friday, and sometimes I'll do them on Saturday.